Hi friends, welcome to our Sunday afternoon reflection, and it's a wonderful psalm, Psalm 100. Only 5 verses, but every word counts. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know that the Lord is God. It is he that made us, and we are his. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name. For the Lord is good, his steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. As I said, Psalm 100, and there's not a scrap of waste in this psalm. Every single word is packed with meaning, with significance, and with this sense of a person pouring themselves out to God in worship and adoration. A number of things that struck me as I read through this psalm. And the psalmist starts by thinking about what we say, how we speak. And he starts by make a joyful noise to the Lord. It's even beyond words. It's a joyful noise. So it's the celebration, it's the cheer, it's the shriek of elation, it's the round of applause. I've been at some worship services where we've applauded God until our hands were sore. And the psalmist captures this sense of God is worthy of me giving really beyond what I can manage just with my words and my voice, but my whole being can express to God his worth and to worship him. We come into his presence and we sing, we lift our souls to God. Secondly, the psalmist talks about what we know. Know that the Lord is God. It's he that made us. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. That our worship flows from that deep place, from that place of understanding, from that place of what we know. And I think that the more we get to know God, the deeper our relationship with God goes, the more time we spend building up our relationship with God in prayer, in reflection, in enjoying his creation, through our opening ourselves to the Spirit, the more we know that God is with us, and the more we can bring that knowledge to our worship and to our rejoicing and knowing that the Lord is God, as the psalmist writes, and to know a deeper intimacy that, as he says here, it is he that made us, we are his people, the sheep of his pasture. It's a wonderful thing to know, isn't it, that we are God's people, that he's chosen us, and that we're precious, and that he cares for us and watches over us like the Good Shepherd. And the third thing is where we go, this sense of our moving, both physically but also moving through life, moving through time and space. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, that every journey is an opportunity to thank God. And I think it's a wonderful principle. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. That's a wonderful phrase to say day by day, so that wherever our day takes us, we are enter into that place with thanksgiving. Some places, I grant you, are much easier than others. Perhaps it's not easy to enter the dentists with thanksgiving, but even in those places that are challenging, that are maybe a bit fearful, places where we don't want to go but we know we need to go, we can still go there with thanksgiving, knowing that God is with us, knowing that we are his people, knowing that God is worthy of our praise, even in those difficult situations. Give thanks to him, bless his name. And the psalmist concludes by thinking about the very nature and character of God. For the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. Almost every word of that final verse, verse 5, could feel a full reflection. The idea that the Lord is good. That's so important, friends, that we never lose sight of God's goodness. Life can be hard, and we might sometimes lose sight of God's goodness. But what we need to know, and this is a wonderful thing about Jesus coming, that God has entered into our life to share this journey with us. He's come through the Holy Spirit to be our companion through the good days and the bad. And his goodness is always a factor in our daily life if we've got faith, if we will open our eyes to see, if we will lean on our God and trust him in those moments. And he goes on to say his steadfast love, a love that is not moved. Something steadfast, it's going to stay where it is. You can rely on it. And God's love is reliable. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be there for us, come rain or shine. And it endures forever. There's no end to the wonderful love that God has for us. And his faithfulness rolls down the generations. And there the psalmist finishes this wonderful hymn of praise, of worship of God. Of course, we sing this. It's often referred to as the Old 100th. It's a wonderful Scottish psalter with some marvellous tunes, and again captures this spirit of praise that's kind of almost boiled down to its purest form in this wonderful psalm. So I would encourage you to take some time to read it through on your own. Maybe read it through several times, pause over the words, let the words seep in and speak to you out of this wonderfully profound piece of prose and of praise. Well, bless you, friends. We'll finish as we always do with a prayer. We do indeed want to make joyful noises and give you praise, eternal God, that you love us and that your love is steadfast and sure. And we thank you that even in the midst of difficult times, such as we are in, you are with us, and we can trust you and lean on you. Thank you that you've shown us in Jesus how you are with ordinary folk, full of love and compassion. Thank you that you come in the Holy Spirit to be with us and to remain with us always. So hear us now, mighty God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, we ask this prayer for your name's sake. Amen. Well, God bless. Trust you've had a good Sunday, and I look forward to sharing another video with you soon.